Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. So, guys, Terence Crawford's picking Errol Spence to win against Danny Garcia, and listen, I can see why he's picking Errol Spence to win that fight. I can also see why he would want Errol Spence to win, because obviously there's a super fight brewing between them. But I genuinely don't think Terence Crawford's the guy that would care. I think if Danny Garcia was to win, I think he'd love a fight with Danny Garcia. I think Terence Crawford just wants to get in with all of them. But let's come on to the fight. Listen, a lot of people have been saying a lot of things online about Errol Spence and about his well-being. And you know, when you go in the comment section, I'm always, whenever Errol Spence gives an interview now, I'm always go in the comment section and see what people have to say. And people are saying there's a common theme that, you know, Errol's slurring in his words. He seems slow. And what I would say to a lot of people, and the people that do watch my videos that maybe be doing that, is that give the man a chance. And what I mean by that is that let's not speculate about how Errol Spence is, because Saturday night we're going to find out. One thing they say about the boxing ring is the boxing ring reveals all. There's nothing that can be hidden in a boxing ring. There's nothing that, you know, any kind of weakness, any kind of diminish in a fighter will be exposed in a boxing ring. So any weaknesses, any flaws inside a boxing ring, it will be exposed. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. If you have a weakness inside a boxing ring, it will be there for everybody to see. If Errol Spence isn't the same Errol Spence, right, then he's got a problem come Saturday night in America. If Errol Spence is the same Errol Spence, then for me, Danny Garcia is going to have a problem Saturday night. Now, Danny Garcia is somebody that he's always been underlooked. You know, he's always been the underdog. He's always been the guy that nobody really gives that much credit to, even though he's got a great resume, better resume than Spence. Nobody really rates Danny Garcia. And this has been happening from, in my opinion, when Danny Garcia first fought Amir Khan. And everybody knows I'm a massive fan of Khan, always have been. That night, when Danny Garcia fought Amir Khan, you've got to say Danny Garcia pulled off a beautiful win. He was getting dominated and battered in that fight. Literally dominated. His face was getting busted up. Khan was beating him, battering him, beating him up. And Garcia lands a huge left hook. And that just changes the whole complexion of the whole fight. And a lot of people love to criticize Amir Khan's chin. And I'm also going to talk about Danny's power. And a lot of people love to talk about Amir's chin, right? He got hit with a flush left hook. I mean, a left hook that was a big left hook. A left hook that put Rod Salko to sleep. You know, he hit Brandon Rios with a right hand, who was a very durable guy. He got put to sleep. And Amir Khan got up. He got hit with the flushest left hook. It was literally flush. And Amir Khan got right back up. He got right back up. He was all over the place. Yes, the round was coming to an end and he got through it. And then the next round he came out and he was okay. He got put down again. But, you know, he took Danny Garcia's power. He definitely took his power. You know, after being savage for, you know, that was a massive left hook that he got caught with. And he managed in the next round to come out and he was fighting with Garcia. That was only Khan's biggest mistake. He fought Garcia and got caught. However, what my point is that how hard does Danny Garcia punch? Because Errol Spence has got a very sturdy chin. And when you look at the top fighters that Danny Garcia's fought, yeah, he stopped Amir Khan, but Amir Khan got up and he finished that fight on his feet. When Khan fought Canelo, yes, Canelo was a middleweight. Canelo hit him and he didn't get up. And I'm not to say Khan against every guy that was around his size, the ones that did stop him, or he got up. It was more stopped on his feet. And also against Matisse had a fairly good chin. He took his power. Lamont Peterson took his power. I thought he lost that fight. Herrera took his power. You know, so I do question I do question how hard Danny Garcia punches. Yeah, he's a big puncher, but at welterweight, his power's not really carried, really. Guerrero went 12 rounds with him. Thurman went 12 rounds with him. And what we saw with Thurman hasn't got the greatest chin in the world. We've seen Thurman hurt several times and wobbled by Lopez. You know, Pacquiao put him down. Porter took his power. So I think Danny Garcia is powerful, but unless Spence gets really reckless and his chin's not what it used to be after the accident, I really listen. I might be underestimating Danny Garcia again, and Danny Garcia may be underestimated again. But I just don't see. I don't see Danny Garcia winning this fight. I don't. And listen, I like Danny Garcia. I think Danny Garcia is an overachiever. I think he's achieved a lot in the game. When you look at him, he doesn't look like he's got the greatest skills in the world. He's got a good counter punch. He's a good counter puncher, but there's a lot of flaws there. You know, he's not got the quickest feet in the world. His hands ain't the fastest, but you know, he gets the job done. And even the 2 fights that he's lost close. You can't say he's been battered in those fights. He's lost close, split decisions and whatnot. So Garcia is definitely an underrated fighter, and I don't think this is going to be an easy fight, but I do think Spence, for me, is a better fighter than Thurman and Porter. And I think Spence is going to have too much. I agree with Terence Crawford. I do. The only way, I think, if Errol Spence is diminished after that car crash, then I think Danny Garcia is going to beat him. Yeah, I do, because I think Danny Garcia is a quality fighter. And I do think that if you've diminished and you're not the same guy, then there's a great chance for Danny Garcia to beat him. But we just have to wait and see. That's why this fight's so intriguing. I think that's what makes this fight so... We don't know what we're going to get with Errol Spence. We don't know what's left of Errol Spence. That car crash was bad. Not just from a physical point of view. People say, oh, he never had no broken bones or nothing. Well, no, it's the mental aspect of being in an accident like that. That's not a joke, to be in an accident like that. We're talking about a man was... car flipped over and he flew out the car. And when you look at his face, I saw a picture of his injuries after the accident and saw his face. He was in a bad way. You know, you don't know what his skin's going to be like. You know, cuts. Is he going to cut easily? There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that, you know, we have to see on Saturday. Because like I said right at the start of the video, in the boxing ring, if there's any weaknesses or any flaws, they will show in a boxing ring. 1,000,000%. If you have any flaws physically, mentally, they will show in a boxing ring. Without question. So if Errol Spence has any mental or physical issues from that car accident, as a result of that car accident, they will show in the ring on Saturday night. And Danny Garcia will make them show. Because Danny Garcia is a quality fighter that brings it every time. That's tough. That's got a granite chin. That punches hard. That's going to make it a tough fight for Errol Spence. And Errol Spence, in every fight that he's had against top quality opposition, he's yet to show me he's a level. Apart from the Mikey Garcia fight, who was a lightweight. Apart from that fight, the Kell Brook fight was very close. And yes, Errol Spence dogged Kell Brook, but Kell Brook had already been beaten against Golovkin. Against Sean Porter, he had a very, very tough fight. And that fight was neck and neck, could have gone either way. This is another fight where I'm expecting Errol Spence to put in a masterclass and put in a great performance and do something with Danny Garcia that's never been done before. Because that's how we rate Errol Spence. That's how Errol Spence is seen, right? People keep talking about him as one of the best pound for... Well, then you have to prove that. Having a knife and death fight with Sean Porter, who's not even a top 20 pound for pound guy, and some people thinking you lost, isn't a statement. Now, beating Mikey Garcia, yes, that's a good win, but he's a lightweight. He's not a guy your size. You're way bigger than him. So this needs to be a statement win. Like Terence Crawford's win over Kell Brook, like Terence Crawford's win, previous wins. He needs to be a statement win. He needs to put in a devastating performance. Whether he can do that, I don't know. I have my doubts. I still have my doubts about Errol Spence and how good he is. You know, I need to see that defining performance at welterweight. I haven't got it yet. I still think that I feel he's capable of it, but I don't think we've got it yet. Is Saturday night going to be the night where he proves or gives us that defining win. Possibly. Possibly. You know, but only time will tell. Listen, I'm a big fan of Errol Spence. Big fan. I like Errol Spence. I think he's a great fighter. But I want to see more. I want to see more. I feel he can do more. I think, you know what the difference is between, and hopefully Errol Spence has this kind of mindset, and he dedicates himself to the sport like a Crawford, because I think the difference between Terence Crawford and Errol Spence was the fact that Terence Crawford lives the life, man. He lives the life. Now Errol Spence may, after the accident, start living the life and stop going out and knowing that he's got young kids and he want to provide a great legacy and you know, have a great career. I hope Errol Spence gets his act together, because if he is living the life, then I think Errol Spence has the ability and talent to reach very high levels. But one thing I know with Crawford lives the life. Crawford lives and eats, sleeps, drinks boxing. And I don't think I could say that about Errol Spence all throughout his career. I do think he's probably dedicated himself as well, but I don't think it's the same level and how long Terence Crawford has dedicated himself for. And I think that's what separates them at the minute. But Errol Spence is the bigger man. He's strong. He's big. Listen, it's a fight that I want to see. So we all hope that Errol Spence gets through Garcia, but I don't think it's an easy fight. And it wouldn't shock me if Errol Spence gets turned over. It wouldn't. It wouldn't, because of the accident, or because it just wouldn't shock me. It just wouldn't shock me, because like I said, that was a serious accident. But I hope Errol Spence is the same fighter. I am picking Errol Spence to win the fight. I'll do a prediction video, but I've said it all along. I just rate him a lot higher than I rate Garcia. I'm not the biggest fan of Garcia. I think he's an overachiever. I think he's a great fighter. I think he's done well in his career. He's got a great resume. There's no doubt about it. You have to say Danny Garcia has got an unbelievable resume. No question. But we have to, you know, say that I have to say that I think Errol Spence's skills is on another level to Garcia. I might be wrong. We'll find out Saturday night. But I do think Errol Spence is going to win this fight. Do I think it's going to be by stoppage? Initially I thought he would win by stoppage, but now I don't know. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be points. I just think Garcia's too tough and he's got a granite chin. I just don't really see that man being stopped. You know, I never really seen him dropped. I never really seen him. I've seen him, Thurman hit him with a huge right hand and him just recover straight away. I think the man's got a granite, just like hitting a brick wall. I think he's got one of the best chins, along with Canelo and Golovkin, in the game. I just think he's got an unbelievable chin, and I think his recovery is unbelievable. I think Garcia's a tremendous fighter. He's got a lot of heart, got a great chin. Good counter puncher, not got the fastest feet, not got the fastest hands, but he's effective. He's got good power, he's got a good left hook. Let's see how this fight plays out. But I do favor Spence quite heavily, and I do feel that Spence might beat Danny Garcia, or should beat Danny Garcia the way no one's beaten before. But again, let's see if Spence is that guy. You know, there's a lot of hype around Spence. We all rate him, but, you know, you've got to deliver when you've got that kind of hype. And you've got to do it emphatically, really. Because, again, if it's another close fight, people will start questioning how good Errol Spence is. Because if we put Manny Pacquiao in his prime, or Floyd Mayweather in his prime, against Danny Garcia, how do we think that fight plays out? For me, quite a one-sided affair. So, you know, if Errol Spence wants to show he's on that level, then he's got to put in an emphatic performance. Listen, I'm not saying Errol Spence is a prime Manny Pacquiao or a prime Mayweather, but what I'm saying is he's being hyped out like he's the next best thing. So we need performances like the next best thing, and he needs to put in an emphatic performance against Garcia, and he probably will. Let's see. Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think, guys. Guys, remember to smash that like button. Really helps the channel, really helps the algorithm. And guys, remember to share the videos. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.